You gotta like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I'm telling you right now, especially commenting. You better leave a comment, man. I'm running a test right now. YouTube's doing some weird stuff with my channel, so I'm making some changes, and I need you to comment. Doesn't matter what it is, just comment something. Gen Z is still faking disorders? What is going on with this? I've been hearing some stuff about this, but I kind of stay away from Gen Z, because Gen Z is just a bunch of people that, you know, like this, look like clowns. At least the ones that I know of. I know there's some good ones out there. Alright, MorePegasus, tell about this situation. I thought he was going on break. Maybe after this video he's on break. Remember what I said about commenting.
These psycho TikTokers. Now, I used to talk about this years ago, where people would be faking mental illness and faking these disorders, basically just inventing random shit because they're bored and they—
Yeah, I was seeing, whenever I was on TikTok, there was a lot of this, but I immediately got off TikTok. I think I was on TikTok for a week whenever it first got popular.
Feel like it, and they really desperately want attention from people. So we're gonna go through a couple people.
I think that's pretty much everybody on TikTok. They're so desperate for attention. And they're always people like this whenever it's like low view counts and we talk about them on a video like this. And sometimes they get high view counts, you know, because there's a bunch of freaks watching
that are going viral recently. Here's my little preview for the video. We got this psycho, this psycho, this psycho. We'll also be talking about—
Bro, they're... Okay. I was about to bring it up, but she brought it up. Yeah, right here. Septum theory. There was something in common with all of those people that just popped up on screen.
The infamous nose ring theory. It's making a comeback. It's this theory where people with nose rings, for some unexplained reason, tend to lean towards crazy. Also, a couple more psychos who are all mentally ill in different ways, it seems. Starting with whatever this—
They look like that they would be one of the insane side characters in a comedy movie from the early 2000s. Like, this would be who they would portray as the insane person. And now it's flipped. And that's why everything sucks.
So you know how this new generation has the pronoun stuff, right? The he, she, they, them, the standard. But then you got some people who are like, let me cook, right? Let me cook some more. I'm not special enough. I need more attention. And yeah, you should not let them cook.
This is a video about—
Oh god, it's one of these Tourette's people.
About my pronouns.
Nothing against people with Tourette's. It's just like, there's a whole bunch of people that fake it. And this is definitely fake.
I've had a lot of people ask them in lives, and I thought it would be easier to just have a video explaining my pronouns. So I use ze, them, it, its, and they, them pronouns because I like them, and I think they're fun to use.
Hey, that's it right there. At least she's honest about it. She? I think this is a she.
How you use ze, them pronouns in a sentence would be like, Z is crocheting, I'm watching their live, I'm crocheting with them. Most people use no.
Hold on, this was so forced.
They're live, I'm crocheting with them.
Yeah, that was so forced. That was like not a tick at all.
Most people use no. Most people know how to use it, its, and they, them pronouns in sentences. Why do I use them? I use them because I think they're fun.
Right. So we got the
that went on for way too long.
Casual ze, them. Now, I don't know about you. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that in real life ever. In fact, I'm almost certain that none of you have either, unless you are in this person's neck of the woods. It really seems like this stuff is purely an
I've only said them whenever I'm making fun of Germans. We should kill them all!
Online thing that they're purposely doing on TikTok. I mean, they talk about it as if they use it in real life as well, but I find that very, very hard to believe. At least, yeah, I just don't see that working. I mean, it would take so long to even explain. And how would you deal with strangers? This is something I just don't understand. Like, why would you make life difficult for yourself on purpose? I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, every time you go to the cashier at the grocery store, when they call you a she or whatever, you're gonna go and be like, well, actually, there's this thing called Zem that I have invented here.
Yes, 1000%, because they love to inform people about it.
I want you to use this going forward, and then they probably encounter like hundreds of people every day, so they probably can't even remember that. Also, you're saying you're doing this for fun, so you just kind of expose yourself. It doesn't really reflect their identity. It's just some random fun shit that you've completely made up. Also, to address the elephant in the room, the ticks and stuff. Now, I'm not gonna 100% say that they're faking it or anything like that.
I am.
There's no real way to know unless you're them, or you could technically go through all their previous videos and just expose them. But I will say, I used to talk about this stuff before, and there were a lot of people who did actually get exposed for faking this shit, and it seems like their certain quirks and stuff only pop up on video, it seems.
Yeah, if you look a certain way, if you look like one of these types of people, all of your quirks and your tics, they're all fake to me. I don't even care if they're actually real. Like, go fuck yourself.
Only pop up whenever they're doing
like, oh my
TikToks, or
God,
only
dude.
recently, and several years ago they did not have it. So I don't know if this person is doing that, but if you are one of those people who legitimately take time out of your day to fake this shit, then you're a piece of shit. People actually have to suffer through this type of stuff, so yeah, it's not cool. Right, so then they talk about when they actually discovered this neopronoun system or whatever, or whenever they made it up or whatever. And what do you know? It was when they were 16. Interesting, right? Interesting. Nobody could have guessed.
I discovered,
Yeah, she never grew up past 16. She still has a 16-year-old mindset. She'll never grow up, never become mature. This person's fucking insane, brain broken, wants to just be a kid again. But guess what? You can't turn back time. It's never gonna happen. You're old. Old, look at you, old.
neopronouns when I was 16, I think. Woohoo! And I didn't really get them at first, but I learned more about them and discovered them pronouns, which I really liked. I started using them with friends, and then woohoo, pretty bird, I eventually put them in my username. So I've been using them pronouns, pretty bird, for a couple years now. I discovered, what you doing? I discovered I didn't mind its pronouns when I was reading through a lot of hate comments that I get.
So much, like, I'm getting tired of her fake ass ticks, because like whenever she does the ticks, she's saying the words and that she's doing in the tick at the same tone as the rest of her sentence, and that's not how that works.
A lot of people use it to try and dehumanize you or like hate on you or whatever. But when I was going through those comments, I realized I genuinely didn't mind its pronouns, and for me, they're a vibe. So, hopefully that explains my pronouns. Woohoo!
And they all have these fidget toys every fucking time, dude. These people are fucking weird.
Yeah, that explained a lot, honestly. So you were 16, you're very impressionable. You probably log onto TikTok every day, before even brushing your teeth or taking a shower. You just...
And probably seeing a whole bunch of freaks doing the exact same shit, thinking it's real, too. And they all are just, like, collectively faking all this bullshit and all collectively thinking that each other's shit is real.
Immediately got onto that app, go to the internet, and look for validation from
neopronouns,
fellow mentally ill people.
What the fuck are neopronouns?
And you find a way to make them affirm your crazy delusions. And the end result is you just end up looking like some sort of exotic parrot. I honestly feel bad for the parrot now. That's a really mean comparison for the parrot right there. But yeah, maybe if a parrot had a bunch of metal in it or whatever, and put on clown makeup, I guess. I really just feel bad for these people, because imagine living your life every day like this. It must be fucking exhausting. But anyways, moving on to the nose ring theory. Now, you probably heard of this before. I've also talked about it several years ago. Basically, there's an interesting correlation that a lot of these psychos online who are clearly mentally ill seem to have nose rings. Now, obviously, you can wear nose rings and be perfectly normal.
I've never seen one. I've never seen a perfectly normal person with a nose ring. They've all been fucking insane freaks.
Perfectly chill and cool person, but some people out here are ruining it for everyone, it seems. If you do happen to wear a nose ring, just know that you might be judged adversely on the internet now, because there's a lot of people who do wear nose rings who are completely insane. And yeah, I don't know. There's some sort of correlation, some mystic correlation here. So it doesn't always have to be
Hey,
the
look, it's
case.
me.
But yeah. So this guy went viral calling it out.
Septum theory this, septum theory that.
What the fuck?
You guys are
That's
just
what I'm saying. What the
jealous
fuck?
that I am
I thought that was like vape or something coming out of her mouth. That's an actual... His mouth? Is this a dude?
swag, awesome, gay.
Septum theory. I've seen this phrase getting kicked around a lot. Basically, see someone with a septum ring, they're most likely going to be fucking mentally ill or just straight up retarded. Angry, deranged, Starbucks drinking lunatics, mate. Oh, but Jack, that's pretty judgmental. No, it's not. It's just true.
If you're throwing around the R slur, full-fledged Nazi. Full stop.
That's interesting. I don't understand why people got that on their face, mate. You know,
What's with that weird mullet cut that everybody's using? Hold on, let's go back to that. Not that. That's just a fucking weirdo.
that's interesting. I don't understand.
But like, what's with this? A bunch of people get this same haircut where it's like kind of a normal haircut. This dude kind of looks like XQC if XQC was gay.
Why people got that on their face, mate. You know, that's for cattle, right? So they can put the rope through the fucking nose and drag you around.
Right, listen, I don't want to be that guy, but how do you go out looking like this? You are a straight up clown. In fact, a clown probably has less shit on their face. If
I would be less afraid of a clown. Clowns, not that scary. Some people are afraid of them, but if I saw a person like this out in public, I'd be afraid. And I feel sorry for people who are actually afraid of clowns and then see some people like this in public, because this got to be their worst fucking nightmare.
we were to do a one-to-one comparison, I feel like. And look at that absolute conch shell in her nose, bruh. Dude, at that point, I feel like you're operating at 30% capacity. There's not enough oxygen that is even flowing to your brain. Maybe that's what...
There already wasn't very much oxygen because of... you know what I'm...
But actually makes you mentally ill. It's just a lack of oxygen. I feel like that would make anyone ill, you know, physically. Now, one of the previous times we talked about one of these specimens, they were complaining about not getting hot.
Who thinks that this is attractive? And this? I think tattoos are cool. But, like, you look like a Path of Exile character. And already right here, that's bad sign. Bad sign. This person's a fucking demon.
Fired at like a TJ Maxx or something. Basically, they're complaining about getting fired for their self-expression, and it was this lady with a shit ton of tattoos and like a tattoo of like a demon or something. And the reality is, if you show up looking like this to a job interview, you're not exactly a people's person, all right? You're not exactly going to be perceived as someone who is, you know, welcoming, cool. You know, if there's a bunch of kids going to the store to get some clothes, or, you know, kids with their parents getting some groceries or some toys, if they see this fucking devil, you know, at the counter, they're gonna be a bit put off, you know, gonna be like, mommy, what the fuck is that?
It's a demon, son.
So yeah, back to this person here, you know, I feel like just without all that shit on your face, you would look pretty decent, but it's like, why?
No.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Not even.
I just don't understand. Feels like such a
I don't think there's any saving this.
cry for
I think this person looks like this because of their mental issues.
help, a cry for attention, you know? Also, I'm like an anime guy, right? And I think the closest thing we have in real life to like aura or chakra is like our breathing. And if you somewhat inhibit your
What the
breathing
fuck?
even slightly,
Bro, you make dudes with long hair look bad.
you're basically nerfing your power level, right? Even in the gym, if you lift or whatever, you'll notice that if you take like a deep breath before your set and, you know, you really get ready for it, then you have way more strength on it, right? It's because like, oh, you got all that oxygen filling up. I don't know the exact logic there, but yeah, there's also those breathing techniques like Wim Hof or whatever, where you can like supercharge your body to survive in like extreme cold temperatures where it normally may not. So legitimately, like breathing is an actual superpower. So when you inhibit that, you know, you're kind of just cucking yourself. Now, if you have like a tiny, small nose ring or whatever, okay, fair enough, fair enough. But if you have a walrus tusk in there, I mean, come on, you're just like, you're giving yourself a cold, you know? Well, you know, when you're ill, you have a cold and you just can't breathe enough, and it's so annoying, especially when you're trying to sleep and you're like always, you know, making that noise to, you know, clear their mucus and shit like that. That's basically what's going on here, and you're doing it on purpose. I can't, bruh. Right, so then she just calls it like really stupid, and that says that we should not be talking about this, even though this is TikTok, and literally you talk about the most nonsensical, unimportant shit all the time.
But for real, this septum theory shit is so fucking stupid, like...
You know what's really fucking stupid? Your septum piercing, and also this demonic tattoo that you have on your chest.
Sincerely, like, where are we? There are so many more important things to talk about here on this fucking app right now.
Yeah? Yeah, there is.
Like, if you're commenting septum theory under my posts, I'm blocking you.
How can you make fun of me without talking about the political and economic state of the world right now? How can you criticize me when there's a genocide going on? Right out of the Hassan Biker playbook right here. The Hassan Orbiter playbook. Listen, you put yourself online to get clowned on, looking like a clown. People are gonna call you a clown. It looks like a clown.
Dude, the more I look at this person's face, the worse it gets. Cause like, what the fuck is with the eyebrows? What's with the painting on the nose? Like, what the fuck is this thing? What is this person?
Acts like a clown, it's gotta be a clown. Also, it's really not that deep. People aren't making like a comment on your like intrinsic worth or anything like that. They're just saying, hey, this looks stupid. And a lot of people who look like this give up.
I don't know. I could probably comment on their intrinsic worth. You know what I mean? These people, they don't have a lot going on.
Off the vibes that they're mentally ill and they have deep trauma and problems, right? And not gonna lie, you know, all these years,
Can we fix her? You think we could fix this one? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I want to try.
Theory, you know, the nose ring theory is quite accurate, I feel like, at least online. You know, in real life, you might encounter people that are more...
Oh, I'm staying away from this one. Unfortunately, this leans toward more like my type. And I don't like that that's a thing.
Normal, but that's just in general. And in real life, there's more normal people than people that are online, because people online are desperately trying to...
You know why I think people are born gay? Because I'm attracted to women like this, and I really don't want that to be the case.
Get attention, trying to get validation, trying to go viral, trying to get clout on TikTok or whatever platform. There's plenty of decent people with nose rings, of course. It doesn't mean like you put it on, you're automatically insane. That obviously doesn't make any sense. Although there is something coming up that might indicate that. We'll see. But anyways, as this trend started to get viral, a bunch of people got really butthurt about it. There was this one guy who basically said that anyone who doesn't like nose rings is a pedo.
Septum-ring theory is when you are visibly older than 18 and conservatives get sad you are no longer a minor. If you have visible tattoos or facial piercings, it is immediately recognizable that you are of age.
What the fuck is this person talking about? He's just saying bullshit.
And that makes conservatives sad, because they can no longer roleplay with you in the position of...
Bro, you're roleplaying. What are you talking about?
Of the depravity in their sick fucking minds.
Okay, what the fuck? Where did that even come from?
Hey, no, he's just making shit up. He knows that he's making shit up. He's just saying shit. He's just wanting to sound cool. Wanting to sound prophetic.
What are you even talking about? Also, I don't think this is just conservatives. It's like even liberals can see a whack job psycho and go, yeah, that's a whack job psycho.
Yeah, they're fucking retards, you know?
I know what's going on. This has got to be a Hassan fan. It's a classic. I mean, come on. Randomly calling someone a PDF file that you disagree with. That's right out of the playbook. That's on chapter...
He probably goons to Hassan.
Chapter 2. Chapter 2 of Hassanetics right there. Also, nobody minds the tattoos either. But you know, if you have a giant demon tattoo...
Yeah, I like tattoos, actually. I a lot of times would prefer somebody have tattoos. But this is too much. Especially the goat head. I could even probably maybe look past this, except for the fact that it's kind of a baby. It's definitely a baby skull, but like, Maybe? I don't know, man. Not this one. Not this one. Let's go back to the other girl with the spider bites.
Tattoo of a monster on your face. Yeah, people are likely gonna judge you. Like, you can't have a giant sign on your head that says, hey, look at me, and judge me, which is essentially what a nose ring and a tattoo is, and then be like, oh, I'm mad that people are judging me. Like, of course they are. You're making a statement. It's not even just nose rings or tattoos. It's like with anything. Your clothes. If you wear some wacky clothes, people are gonna judge you, you know? Or if you have colored hair or whatever, anything that's different from the norm, people are gonna judge you. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. And the problem with people like
this person looks like a fucking freak.
You is you're literally proving the theory right. Like, when you react like this, and when you call everyone that doesn't like something, which is a preference, a pedo, then you're just affirming that you're mentally ill. You're just affirming that you're a complete psycho, crazy nut job, of course. Moving on to this girl going viral. Apparently she can't find a man. TikTok girl.
I'll do it. I will take this. I will sacrifice myself for this woman.
Number 7,000.
I will do the world a favor, and I will take this girl under my wing.
Who can't find a man, and decides the best thing is to post about it online to try and get sympathy. And lo and behold, she thinks that everybody else is the problem, but cannot find any problem in herself.
I can fix her, chat. I can fix her.
She says, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life. Interesting.
So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men specifically for probably about 5-6 years now.
Oh, I saw this video. Okay, never mind. I have seen this video. Fuck. No. No. I'm out. Never mind. I take it back. I will not be a martyr.
In a serious way. I'm single at the moment. My boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously.
425 or 4D5?
Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now
What do you think?
I know what you're thinking. You probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other. They're not friends. They're not from the same area. They don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men. I really have been reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is.
Okay, how do I put this? So, if we do some quick maths there's only one common denominator.
You do have a type. Your type is men who are into people who look and act and sound and are like you. That's your type. And also, these men probably keep getting themselves into trouble. I know how it is. I know.
In all these failed relationships, and that is you, right? So definitely look into that. But also, you know, I'm just gonna be fair here. It's fine to have failed relationships. You just move on, you know? Now, failed relationships for 5-6 years in a row with several different people, okay, that might be indicative of another problem there, especially if you're actively looking, as you're saying, right? But the fact of the matter is, you're not gonna get along with everyone. You just need to find one person. That's the whole point, you know? You gotta find that one person. At least I hope that's the goal. I don't know what the fuck people want these days, all right? More than one, or whatever the hell they're doing nowadays.
Yeah,
God
no, thank
knows.
you.
We got people like iDubbbz and Destiny spreading their little cuck mentality, the sneakos of the world, you know? You never know what's going on these days. But yeah, whenever you have a constant series of failures like this, you gotta look inside, you know? You gotta know that, hey,
Or maybe even on the outside.
am I the one, you know, who has a problem? Am I the one picking bad men here? I feel like if you're dedicatedly looking for so many years, you should probably find someone who you at least deem as good. Like, at least
I don't even think she was getting with men who are bad. I don't think that that's the problem here. I think she was probably getting with men and then crashing out and going fucking nuts, and they were like, whoa! All right, I may have made a mistake here.
one of those relationships, maybe it didn't work out, but maybe you liked the guy. Maybe the guy was actually nice. But apparently, these are all bad men. And apparently, she's been in relationships for like 5-6 years or whatever. Like, I assume it takes you an entire year to determine this person sucks. Like, I just don't understand. Anyways, she continues and blames everybody else but her. The classic TikToker strategy.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main issues that I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone, like love their partner and care for their partner. Obviously,
How would you know? If you've never been in a successful relationship, how would you know?
I'm not saying this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for them to, like, I don't know, just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them...
I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna tell you that until after we're married.
...has treated me horribly, okay?
Right, so these guys are lying to you. I mean, guys will say a lot of shit to get you to like them,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be honest, straight up.
or to sleep with them or whatever. But if they're lying, it is your job to realize that and not believe their
I don't truly love you until we've had a child, bitch.
words. You know, maybe you can fall for the first lie, but what about the next lies, right? You're being like, okay, this person's a liar, I should not trust them, you know? And I always say, you gotta look at their actions, right? If they treat you horribly, they obviously don't like you, and you should move on quickly. Yet, you seem to be the type of person to be in relationships for years with these guys and then just keep complaining. So apparently men are the problem, but also I pick people who lie to me and treat me bad. Like, listen, I'm not saying it's impossible to be manipulated. Of course, you know, sure, you might feel in love. Maybe you're blinded. But 4 or 5 times, come on. At that point, it's gotta be you, all right? If the same thing happens again and again, that's just you not deciding to make any changes, right? Also, for the love of God, somebody explain this to me. What does crying on TikTok even do, honestly? What does
It's a bunch of validation. It gives you a bunch of comments that you like, but it also gives you comments that you don't like. So you're gonna have to, like, it's up and down, man. It's really not worth it.
does it do except feed your own ego? I will never understand this. Like, what would compel someone to do this? I feel like if a guy...
It gives them a little bit of time to talk about themselves, you know? Because they get to talk about themselves in the comments, they get to defend themselves, they get to talk themselves up, they get to see good things said about themselves, they get to see people who are retarded, who are saying death threats and shit, and they get to be like, oh, this person's sending me death threats. It's like, it's a game.
did this and went like, wah, I suck, I suck, and then started crying on TikTok, everyone would just be clowning the fuck out of him, as they are her, to be fair. Right, then she continues and says how awesome she actually is. Definitely a sign when somebody needs to tell you how good they are.
I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I start calling
This chick's retarded. She believes everything that she reads. She's got a parking violation and a maggot on her sleeve.
it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like, point blank period. Otherwise you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely like offended. They get offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know what that means. And like, I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them.
Yes, I pity the guys. They are not socialized, you know, the little, you know, undomesticated animals right here. Here's my question. Why do you even need to get across your argument? Just leave. Go to the next guy. You're telling me you're in a year-long debate here, telling this guy, hey, you don't actually love me, and I'll totally prove it to you that you don't treat me well. Okay, I mean, sure, you're right. Then just leave instead of arguing about it. Leave and go find someone who actually does love you. Why bother arguing with someone who doesn't even listen or understand you? Dude, I swear to God, every problem in this world would be solved if people just had a shred of common sense. Holy shit.
I think they need to get rid of this. They need to pull that out of their noses and maybe they'll be able to think clearly. It's like putting a fucking, it's like clogging a drain. That's what's happening here.
It's like these people don't know how to navigate the simplest of problems. This is the type of person to search something in TikTok before she Googles it, you know? You just know it's that type of fucking idiot. TikTok has the answers, guys. The answers to my love life will be in the TikTok comment section, of course. And you know what ends up happening is that TikTok is also filled with these very bitter, hurt women, and they're in the comments, and they will basically reaffirm this person's opinions, and then they will just end up, you know, hating all men, essentially. And they'll go their entire lives thinking, I've done nothing wrong, I'm so nice, everyone else I encounter is just horrible.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be like 60 years old, out in the streets, going to protest, screaming at people, being alone forever.
And it's just not healthy. It's just not
Living off the
healthy. You need a
government.
little dose of reality here. Then she does us the kind favor of explaining what love actually is. Yes, she does. She definitely knows.
Like they just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. Like, that is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them. Why is that considered love to you? I'm just like...
That sounds like projection to me. That comes off as projection, that like that might be also what she's doing.
Like, I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but like I can't handle it anymore.
Kowalski analysis. Fellas, we have a nose ring. Nose ring detected. Opinion rate.
Yeah, not just a nose ring. You got lip rings on top and bottom.
Reject. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. Listen, I know at least one person with a nose ring who's great, so therefore this theory is false, guys, totally. My advice is that I think you'd have a better time in love if you spend some time evaluating your own flaws, you know, bettering yourself, probably not venting on TikTok. Now, it is possible, theoretically, that every guy she met is horrible. It is also possible that she met tons of good guys, but specifically picked the horrible ones. So maybe she likes horrible guys and wants them to love her, which is not possible, it seems. So
yeah, that also could be the case, and that seems like a thing that happens with girls like this. I actually know a few of them that keep finding dudes that are just pieces of shit, and I compare, not trying to like say that I would be a better fit for these girls, but I just compare the dudes that she's with to myself, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
plenty of possibilities here, but, you know, probably put down the phone for a second, you know, think about what it is that you truly want. If you're okay with being treated badly, which seems like this person is, you know, now they're not, but it seems like they were for several years, then that's just what you're gonna get, you know? You get what you can sort of tolerate, right? And eventually you gotta stand up for yourself, not take any bullshit. If someone is lying to you, you should be ready to leave. But you're barely ready for social media, to be honest, so I don't know, good luck. Anyways, we got more butthurt people over the nose ring meme.
So when you see a man comment septum ring theory on a woman's video, what that means is that he is letting you know that he can fit it through a septum ring.
Bro, she got like a Naruto ninja star in there. She got like a saw blade or something. Yeah, I don't know about this theory. I don't think that's what anyone has ever thought. Maybe that one freaky dude calling everybody pedos, he might have thought of that. Also, to be fair, some of these nose rings are absolutely gigantic.
Yeah, I don't even know what
so
this
I don't know,
is.
man, it might be a compliment.
It
Yeah,
was
I
with
don't
that
know why
lady.
people can't just take a simple joke, you know, like don't really need to be offended by this. Just sort of laugh at it, you know, and move on. It's just a little funny thing. Now, there's actually a lot of nuance to the nose ring theory because here's another girl talking about it. And notice how she actually has the smallest nose ring out of all of them, right?
Why do the girls with nose rings keep coming out to talk about their nose rings and how there's the nose ring theory? Why not just shut the fuck up about it? Or like take the nose ring out for the video where you're talking about the nose ring theory? Because you just okay.
Barely
Let's see
even
what she's gotta say.
visible. And somehow, she's the only one that's not offended by this.
From what I'm gathering over TikTok, the septum theory is like not taking into consideration any opinion that comes from somebody with a septum ring because like they're usually crazy or have some like crazy trauma that caused them to get the septum ring. My old school Italian mom just wouldn't let me put a hole in my face, so like this was the alternative. I mean, like, props though, like I wouldn't take anything I say seriously either, so I agree.
W mom literally saved your ass there. And this is what I'm talking about, all right? It's the lack of good parenting that's actually cooking these kids.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to absolve them of...
Dude, there's a lack of good parenting all over the place. Just look at all the people who let their kids play Roblox.
all responsibility, but a lot of these mentally ill freaks have parents that were equally mentally ill, and essentially they're the ones who raised them like this. Or they were just not present in their lives, right? And they were raised by social media. But also, look at this girl. That is...
Or both.
Maximum oxygen flow. Her breathing is barely blocked. Therefore, her brain actually functions properly, and therefore, she's the least offended out of everybody, and she can actually take a joke. Wow, who would have thought, guys?
Oh, wow.
Maybe there needs to be a book written about this, about like the...
There will be. There 1000% will be now that you've said it. You have manifested it into the world.
Eyes of the nose ring. I feel like the bigger nose ring, the more crazy you are. I think that everybody would agree with, right? The bigger and the thicker it is, like, because it can be big but really tiny as well. But that just looks weird. But if it's big and thick, then it's blocking your breathing. That's just By the way, who even thought of nose rings in the first place? What kind of psycho is like, yeah, let me just fucking pierce my nose, dog?
The crazy tribal people. That's who.
I mean, to be honest, nose rings are quite tame, like compared to like tongue rings or whatever the fuck people do. Like, bruh.
My brother has a tongue ring. Come on now.
I don't know.
I wouldn't do it either, though. That's crazy to me.
What people are doing. I never like understand that. Like, if it's for fashion, why is it in your mouth and why is it like hidden? Also, it's affecting like how you're eating now. Like, that's just ridiculous.
It also fucks up your teeth.
Also, some people have like eye rings or something. Nah, bro, I can't. Now, this next girl apparently got BPD from a nose ring.
Septum piercing theory, septum. Bro, I didn't get the septum because I'm mentally ill. After I got this piercing, I became mentally ill. I'm gonna put...
I think she's joking.
Kind of a trigger warning on this video, low-key, because it's kind of a hard thing to talk about. But after you get these piercings, so the way they pierce it, it goes through a certain nerve, which hits the exact same nerve that synapses in your brain to your emotion. And this nerve will give you BPD if you hit it. So after I got this piercing, I got BPD. And I haven't been the same since. I started dyeing my hair black. I started being emo. Don't get a septum piercing unless you want this to happen to you.
She's joking. This isn't real.
Isn't a joke.
It could be, though.
Anymore.
Okay, come on. She's gotta be trolling at this point, but...
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I cannot tell anymore. But that's an interesting theory. So it's not mentally ill people that get nose rings. It's nose rings that cause the mental illness. Fascinating, truly. I think I'm more likely to believe the latter because of the whole oxygen theory, right? Less oxygen, less brain power, more in mental illness. Makes sense to me. But anyways, whatever that was, a good warning. Somebody probably benefited from that. Anyways, moving on to this grandma here.
Septum ring theory? I'm gonna need you MAGA-its to explain to me exactly what you mean by septum ring theory. Because you commented over and over on every single one of my videos. People just don't appreciate the beauty of piercings, and you're afraid of them, and you're intimidated by them. So then you use them to try to offend me. But what you don't understand is I don't get offended by that. I love being unique. I love being different. I love disassociating myself from you MAGAs in any way possible.
Is this
so
real? I
don't know what septum ring theory means other than you're just afraid and fearful of anyone who's different than
this isn't real.
You.
Okay, I got a ton of flags here. First off, this is a grandma, all right? This ain't a Gen Zer, so I feel like this is more likely to be satire. I mean, it genuinely seems like legendary satire here. Because honestly...
I'm trying to see if those rings are actually piercing through her lips. I don't think they are. I think they're fake. I think they're like the fake earrings that little kids get. The clamp on the neck kind of seals it for me. And I'm not sure that whatever's in her nose is actually connected.
What the fuck is that in your nose? What the hell is it you even got there? You got a clipper on your neck. You even got some shit on your mouth. Like, how do you eat with that? That is maximum oxygen blockage. That might actually be worse than a deviated septum. Like, you might legitimately pass out. Cause where is the space to breathe? Fellas, if this is your grandma, like, unironically, then I think I understand why you turned out the way you did. And then, that's just a rough start, I guess. Bad spawn point. But I have a strong feeling this one's gotta be ironic. There's just no way people walk around with that fucking brick in your nose. Also, last video I said I was taking a break. By that I mean I probably won't be doing daily uploads anymore. I'll still try to get out as much content as I can. Really appreciate all the messages. I didn't actually know how many people look forward to my videos. I mean, I technically know,
man. You are my livelihood. You keep the food on the table, sir.
The view count, but just hearing you guys' messages out made me feel great. So I feel very loved. Thank you guys. You know, I'll do my best to not let you down. Now click this video or you gotta get a massive nose ring for life, and it blocks 95% of your oxygen. All right, you're cooked. All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
It's real. It's so real, dude. These people are so fucking weird. Unfortunately, a lot of them I'm attracted to. Not to these. These types, I don't know what's going on with them, man. The emo types, unfortunately, there's something wrong in my brain that it makes me gravitate toward them, and it makes them gravitate toward me. I don't know. I put off some kind of weird signals where, like, crazy emo chicks are just like, hey, do you want to subscribe to my OnlyFans for $15? And I'm like, no! Get out of my feed.